Hello my dear brothers and sisters. So welcome to a new video. So which is a very fundamental question we are going to discuss today, which is reverse string. So this is a fundamental question, but we are going to discuss a very important pattern for this particular problem, which might be used in a lot of problem, right? So let's understand quickly this particular problem. So although this is a like very straightforward question, so reverse a string, right? So that means if we look into this example, so given a particular input s, right, and we just want to reverse it. Reverse means this. So if you'll see, so this is just reverse order in this particular. It was hello, and this is OLLEH. Just reversed it. Make sure that you are not implementing this one using the inbuilt function, because most of the programming language they will have the reverse functions and you can write it immediately, right? So easily also, right? So that we don't want, right? So try to come up with your own logic, right? Okay, so how to solve it? So there are different methods you can solve it. So let's start with a method one. So I'll be discussing two methods in this particular thing, a particular problem. You can pause this video, think for a while, and come up with the most optimal algorithm. But I'll start with the approach one. So approach one will be very straightforward since we are asked to reverse it. So what I will do, so this is the input. So this is the input, so which is given for this particular problem. For example, let's take this input, right? So which I have just copied it here. I'll take another array, which is the reverse array, right? So which is again same length that as of that particular s. And what I'll do, I'll traverse this particular string from the backward, right? And what I can do, I will just copy these elements one by one to this particular new array, right? So that I'll just put OL, then L, then EH, right? So I'll just keep on putting these elements one by one, right? One by one. This is the order, right? So that means start from the last and just copy it and keep on putting into this particular reverse array. So that is what you can do, or else you can do in the reverse way also. That means start from the beginning of this string and keep on putting at the last, right? So that is also one of the option that you can do, right? So these are both similar approach. I hope you got this particular thing. So basically copy the elements one by one in the reverse order, last to first or first to last. Any of the approach is fine. But what is the time and space complexity of this algorithm if you take a look? So the time complexity is definitely, so we are traversing the whole array S, so that's why definitely it is going to be order n. But how about the space complexity? Space complexity is also order of n. Why it is order of n space complexity? Because we are taking an additional space, which is the name is the reverse, right? So this is one of the approach or to solve this particular problem. So but if you look into this problem very carefully, so this is a very important lines which is being asked actually. So can we do it without using an extra space, right? Or without using an extra memory or order of one space or constant space complexity, right? So that's the question is all about. So now we'll talk about one more algorithm or the second algorithm, which is the optimal one, right? And which will be not using an extra space. You can think about also that, right? So let's think about that. How we'll do. So basically this works very, this is a very traditional and very important pattern. So maybe we'll discuss a little later, but two pointer approach will do it, right? So what it says, so basically what we'll do, so we will start from the beginning. So we'll have two pointers here. So one pointer is pointing to here and one pointer is pointing to here. So basically what we'll do, we'll just swap these two elements, right? So basically we'll swap these two elements. So that means O will come at the beginning, right? So this will be swapped, right? Like this, right? So then O will come here and H will come here, right? So then what I'll do, I'll just move this pointer in this direction, right? So that means I plus plus, suppose this is I, so this is I plus plus, suppose this is J minus minus, right? So this is how it will be, or else if it is low and high, then low plus plus, high minus minus. So then now I'll be pointing to here and here, right? Right? So then what will happen? Then again they will be swapped, right? So then they will be swapped, right? Then LE, right? So then now they will meet at this particular position. So once they meet, so then I am not going to do anything, right? So that is how it will be, and I'll do it till what time? Till they are meeting at certain point, right? So left and right, or means I and J, right? So that's how it works. So what is the time complexity? Time complexity is again like order of n by 2, because the loop is going n by 2 times. So which is ultimately is order of n, that is fine. But the most important thing that we are not using an extra space like previous approach. This approach we are doing it using order of 1 space complexity. So this is all about it. So this is one interesting fact I am going to tell you, right? but that I will tell you after doing the coding of this particular problem. So let's quickly code this particular thing, and after that maybe we'll discuss very important pattern with respect to this particular problem. So what we'll do, so we'll simply say two pointer, right, like we discussed. So we'll take two pointer, so one is maybe low and one is maybe int high, right? So high equal to, so maybe s dot equal to s dot length minus 1. Okay, so this is now my low and high are ready, right? So there are two pointers available, which is one is pointing to this and then this. So then I'll simply write a while loop, right? While low is less than high, right? So low is less than high. So what I need to do, so basically I need to keep on swap, right? So I need to keep on swapping the low and high. So how we'll do it? So I'll take a character, because this is a character array, right? So if you'll see, so I'll take a character temp. So this is the traditional swapping algorithm, right? So temp, so you can store maybe s of low, right? Anything is fine, you can keep anything. Then you can say s of low equal to s of high, since you have already stored the s of temp variable, sorry, s of low variable in some temp, so you can override now. Now you can say for s of high equal to, so maybe you can say temp, because you have already kept this. So this is the swapping logic, this is the traditional swapping logic. If you are finding difficulty, so you must know this. Then what I can do, I can say low plus plus and high minus minus, right? So this is all about it, right? So let's quickly try to run this, and if it is working or fine or not, right? So if you'll see this algorithm, okay, there is some uh, compilation error. This is, I think there is a t, this is a variable high, I think that was the one. Let's quickly run it. Okay, let's quickly submit it also. Everything should be fine. Yeah, right. Yeah, everything looks good. So this is what all about, but this is very important pattern I was trying to talk about, right? So this is very important. At any problem, it is not for this problem. If you are given any particular problem and they ask you to do it without using an extra space or order of one extra memory or constant memory, then what you need to do, immediately you should not think that okay, can I use some other array or no, right? Immediately you should start thinking, can I, what changes should I do within the same array? This is very important. What changes I should do in the same array so that I will get the required output, right? For example, in this example, so what changes I did? So I just did a some swapping, right? Two pointer with swapping. But I did all the swapping and all these things in the same array, existing array, right? So that I am getting my output, right? And this applicable to every problem. Wherever you ask to that, okay, uh, solve it using order of one space complexity or constant space complexity. So then what you need to do? Immediately start thinking, what modification should I do within the existing array, right? I can take some variables, that is fine, but not size of an array. So that's why what modification I should do within the same array, right? So that I will do the, sometimes you might need to change some characters, sometimes you need to swap it, sometimes you might need to, if it is an integer, might need to change the sign, right? Might need to multiply with -1, might need to do some modification you do, so that you will get the required output. So this is an important pattern. Wherever you are asked to do it in order of one, will solve actually a couple of problems, right? So then you can see, but this is an important problem. Okay, so that's all for today. So maybe we'll meet in next class with a new problem. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, take care.